So whenever 13 clause 4 was incorporated with the effect of 24th Constitutional Amendment 1971, automatically Supreme Court become monarch. According to the opinion of Lord Acton, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So because of that, whenever Parliament become a monarch in a democracy, there is no value of the democratic system. So because of that, in the year 1973, Supreme Court delivered the judgment in Keshavananda Bharati case. Supreme Court delivered the judgment in Keshavananda Bharati case. Parliament is having power to amend the constitution. At the same time, if Parliament violate the basic structure of the constitution through the constitutional amendment, Supreme Court involved and Supreme Court deliver the judgment, so and so constitutional amendment is against the basic structure. So why this basic structure thought is developed by the Supreme Court in the year 1973? We will try to understand the basic nature of the constitution. In India, Parliament is not only supreme. In India, we are having a parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. We are having a parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy both. So blend with parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. We require the checks and balances. Because of that, checks and balances is also part of the basic structure. We will try to understand. If there is no basic structure theory, automatically Parliament have chance to become a monarch. If according to the basic structure, if Supreme Court express its opinion, automatically Parliament can control the judiciary also. We will try to understand this basic thing. In India, we are having a parliamentary form of government. In a parliamentary form of government, checks and balances are there. At the same time, we are having a parliamentary supremacy. We are having a parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. So, as a part of judicial supremacy, Supreme Court proposed the basic structure theory. It is not a myth. In different circumstances, Supreme Court expressed different opinion. The ultimate goal of the Supreme Court to propose the basic structure is to protect the constitution, to protect the values. For example, if any circumstances, if Supreme Court expressed its opinion, if any constitutional amendment is done by the Parliament, if it is against the basic structure, at the same time, Parliament is having a power to amend the constitution. So, in this democratic society, no one become a monarch. So, for the purpose of controlling of the Parliament, this basic structure theory is proposed by the Supreme Court. We need to remember one more thing. The same Supreme Court expressed its opinion in Aravali Golf Club case. Supreme Court means judiciary. Judicial adventurism is not advisable. This opinion is expressed by the Supreme Court. So, in the opinion of Supreme Court, judicial activism is considerable, but judicial adventurism is not advisable. Judicial overreach and adventurism is not advisable. Judiciary never interfere in legislative and executive activities unnecessarily. So we will try to write the first paragraph. Basic structure is a myth, it is a criticism. From the 1950 to 1964, Supreme Court support the Parliament, whatever the constitutional amendments are done by the Parliament. Then in the year 1967 in Golaknath case, Supreme Court expressed its opinion, that is, fundamental rights are sacrosanct, it is not amendable. Then in the year 1971, wherever 24th and 25th amendments are done by the Parliament, some part of the 24th amendment and 24th amendment majorly, it violates the basic structure. Because of that, the basic structure theory is developed. So, from the Keshavananda Bharati case to now, we have chance to observe the basic structure idea. So, the basic structure is not a myth. Basic structure is there from the 1950 onwards, at the same means whenever we implement the constitution onwards, but Supreme Court expressed its opinion. Basic structure, the word basic structure is introduced in the year 1973. It is not a myth. For the purpose of controlling of the Parliament, this theory is developed. Next question. Fundamental duties are not comprehensive and incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution is nothing but insulting the Indian citizens' comment. Fundamental duties are not comprehensive, and incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution is nothing but insulting the Indian citizens' comment. So, for example, related to the fundamental duties, whenever they are asking a question, they are not asking a question what are the fundamental duties. 10 fundamental duties are incorporated in the year 1976 with the effect of 42nd Constitutional Amendment. 11th fundamental duty was incorporated in the year 2002 with the effect of 86th Constitutional Amendment. They are not asking what are the 11 fundamental duties. So, fundamental duties are not comprehensive. Whatever we are having 11 fundamental duties, these fundamental duties are not comprehensive, and incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution is nothing but insulting the Indian citizens' comment. So, this is a criticism. We will try to understand first why fundamental duties are not comprehensive. In the year 1950, fundamental duties are not there in our Constitution. In the year 1976, with the effect of 42nd Constitutional Amendment, 10 fundamental duties are incorporated. In the year 2002, with the effect of 86th Constitutional Amendment, 11th fundamental duty was incorporated. Total 11 fundamental duties are there. So, why it is not comprehensive? Some fundamental duties are vague. Vague means not clear. The scope is very vast, but at the same time, it is not specifically, we can't say it is so and so. It is vague. For example, how can we say what is Indian culture? Protecting the Indian culture means what is the Indian culture? Now all the citizens are global citizens. So this is only for the criticism. Only for the criticism, this type of criticism we have chance to observe. All the citizens are global citizens. How can we say it is Indian culture? Ambiguous means citizens are having a responsibility to protect the, to respect the ideas of freedom fighters means, freedom fighters, in the freedom fighters if you observe, extremists are there, moderates are there. Respect the ideology of the freedom fighters means just it is a statement. Respect the ideology means can we respect the Mahatma Gandhi ideology or can we respect the Balagangar Tilak ideology? What is the meaning of the respect the ideology of the freedom fighters? So this is ambiguous, means open to more than one interpretation. So number of different interpretations, different intellectuals, they are interpreted in a different manner. Not clear. Not clear means, so for example, to strengthen the rationality and scientific temper. So what is rationality and what is scientific temper, we know. At the same time, in a culture, so many irrational things are also part, knowingly or unknowingly. So this is not clear. Then not exclusive. Not exclusive means most important fundamental duties are not, most important responsibilities are not incorporated. Most important responsibilities means paying the tax, casting the vote. These things are not mentioned. So because of that, fundamental duties are not clear. Fundamental duties are not comprehensive. So not clear means not comprehensive. And incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution is nothing but insulting the Indian citizens. So some intellectuals like Daftari and Sen, they express their opinion. Incorporating fundamental duties means whatever we are having a fundamental duties. For example, if you observe the 11 fundamental duties, in these 11 fundamental duties, some fundamental duties if you observe, respect the women, respect the national flag, protect the public property. So these things are very common things. Indian citizens are well civilized and they are well aware about these things. Again, in the year 1950, these things are not there. But why these things are incorporated in the year 1976? For example, as a matured Indian citizen, some people they are not thinking it is nothing but, as a matured Indian citizen, if you say something means respect the women, respect the national flag, protect the public property, these things are not advisable. Already people are aware about this, but why should we say again? So this is the criticism. Then For example, it is not comprehensive because of these reasons: casting vote, paying taxes, non-justable. Even though whatever we are having a fundamental duties, 11 fundamental duties are there, it is non-justable. Incorporating fundamental duties in the constitution is not required. This is the opinion of C.K. Daftari. C.K. Daftari was a former Attorney General and Solicitor General of India. He communicated one information: incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian constitution is not required. That is the opinion of Daftari. People are well civilized, it is not required. But at the same time, this is a criticism. We can't support the criticism. Yes, some extent some people are intellectual, some people are having a social responsibility, and they are well civilized and well behaved people are there. But at the same time, in India, so many people are not aware about so many things at the same time. In the opinion of Indira Gandhi, incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian constitution, it is nothing but it is a one type of warning of the anti-social elements. So at the same time, different intellectuals, they agree this. If you observe in a practical manner, these fundamental duties are incorporated in the year 1976 in Indira Gandhi government. But after the 1976, in the year 1978, 44th amendment was done by the parliament in the Morarji Desai government. But so many issues are removed from the constitution. Whatever the issues are incorporated at the time of 1976 with the effect of 42nd constitutional amendment. But with the effect of 44th constitutional amendment, fundamental duties are not removed. So even after the Indira Gandhi, Morarji Desai and other prime ministers, they are also thinking it is required in the Indian constitution. Because of that, fundamental duties are continued. Even though, if you observe in a keen manner, with the effect of 86th constitutional amendment 2002, 11th fundamental duty was also incorporated. Every parent and guardian are having a responsibility to send their children to the school. It is 11th fundamental duty. So Janata government and BJP government, they are also, Janata government is not removed fundamental duties, and BJP government incorporated new fundamental duty. So these are the, if you observe the sequence, if you observe these links, fundamental duties are not dangerous, at the same time it is required. Because of that, Janata and BJP government are also continue the fundamental duties. So fundamental duties, incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian constitution is not insulting the Indian citizens. Different people are having a different mindset. At the time of 1975, some people, they are not properly behaved. Because of that, in the year 1976, these fundamental duties are incorporated in the opinion of Indira Gandhi. Whatever the reasons may be, whatever we are having 11 fundamental duties, these are required to incorporate the constitution. At the same time, whatever we are saying about the criticism, like that, for example, fundamental duties are vague, ambiguous, not clear, not exclusive. These are only a criticism. For example, how many duties are incorporated? Practically, to the level base, with the advice of Swaran Singh committee, they are doing some exercise and incorporating some fundamental duties. So criticism, they criticize, criticism is there. At the same time, it is constructive, it is required. So it is not incorporating fundamental duties of, incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian constitution is not insulting the Indian citizens. Whatever they criticize, they are respecting the Indian citizens more and more. Because of that, we are accepting that criticism also, but it is not for that purpose fundamental duties are incorporated in the constitution. So simply, whatever this criticism is there, but at the same time, fundamental duties are required for the India. This is our conclusion.